I've talked before about how when I see something in a show or a movie that I like, I really just have to make it. So today's obsession and thematically appropriate shirt, Project Hail Mary, I saw the fox cardigan and I thought, I bet I could make that. And then I looked it up and it's a knitted fox cardigan that Ryland Grace is wearing throughout a good portion of the movie. It is knitted. And I thought, oh man, well, I guess I can't do it. But the idea of making this thing just would not leave my brain. So I went and I looked and I was like, I don't know. And I looked up, hey, how hard is it actually to convert a knitting project to a crochet project? Turns out it's mostly a difference in how many rows you'll need. So I was like, all right, cool. So I ordered the pattern. And the thing is, the pattern that it originally came from was a wolf cardigan, and someone had made like a custom fox one. I don't know if specifically for the movie or if someone had just made a fox one and they found it thrifted and were like, this is perfect, because anything can happen when you're making a movie. But whatever the case, the version in the movie is not the same as the original Mary Maxim wolf cardigan pattern. So Mary Maxim then put out a movie accurate Project Hail Mary fox cardigan kit. So the only way you could get the movie accurate pattern was to buy the whole kit with the yarn, which is fine. Normally I don't mind doing that, but I usually like to pick my own yarn. And the thing about knitting versus crochet is that knitting usually uses bulkier yarn than what crochet does, because crochet works up differently than knitting does. So if you use a yarn that was made for a knitting pattern with crochet, it's going to come out a lot bulkier and a lot bigger than you intended for it to be. But I thought, all right, I can deal with that. I can use that as kind of like a practice run. And so I went ahead and got it, and then I started crocheting it, and I wasn't happy with how it was turning out. It was working up pretty quickly, but I just wasn't satisfied with the way that it looked, because it didn't look like the one in the movie because it was crochet. And then I remembered Tunisian crochet. So I went out and I got out my Tunisian crochet supplies. I even got a set of specifically extended Tunisian crochet hooks. So essentially what those are, I'll show you. But essentially what these extended Tunisian crochet hooks are, yeah, this project is a mess, I know. But essentially what these are is you have a little wire that screws into the end of your crochet hook to extend the length that the fabric can be. All right, so a couple explanations on why this looks so messy. Is because there's a lot of color changing here when you're designing the foxes into the pattern. So I got these yarn holders wherein I can put like a big clump of one color, and then that way I don't have to constantly be cutting and weaving in ends as I go, and I can carry the yarn up along, because there are long stretches vertically of the same color. So now I can carry these stretches of yarn by having little portions at a time. So then where that leaves me, this is definitely a practice version, and I am going to find my own like yarn next time I do this, because I think I am gonna do this again, because this one's kind of coming out as a mess. It's a really bulky yarn. So because of the Tunisian style, it does look like knitting and it looks great, but we also have this massive curl going on, and I am going to have to block this for so long. Like, I'm gonna have to pin it and drown it in steam and let it sit like overnight. So here's what I have so far. You may notice this does not specifically look like the movie in certain places. That's because Mary Maxim is a dirty liar. Sorry, but the thing is, they claim that this is a movie accurate pattern. The corporation does. And sure, it is certainly, it has the right coloration. It's got the foxes on it. I'm not gonna show the whole pattern because it is like a paid pattern, but I am just gonna show like what they included with it. First things first, let's point out the elephant gray in the room. This is not the right shade of gray. In the movie, the paw prints really popped in like this charcoal gray on the version that Ryan Gosling wore. And they sent me like the lightest like winter kiss of gray, steel blue that barely even stands out from the main tan color. So there's 1 point against them right there. The other thing, yeah, see, so it's not even as dark as the example in the pictures. And then the other thing is that in the movie, the tails of the foxes were more rounded off, and they also were, I guess you could say, kind of hollow. They were outlined. It was like clearly at some point in the orange, the tail stopped and was white at the end with a black outline like a fox. So that's another thing. So I did some digging and found some online communities where there were corrections shared around, and that's what I'm going to be following. But again, this is a practice run. So another thing that I noticed on this is in the movie version, the second fox sits up a little bit higher on the back, and in the pattern version, it starts quite a lot lower on the back. So those are some corrections that I'm taking into mind. By the time I found the corrections, I had already done a good portion of the second fox's foot, and I was not about to unravel all that color work just to fix this on my trial run piece of all things. So it is what it is for this particular version. But I'm going to find a less bulky yarn, something that sits a little more nicely, and then I'm going to redo this once I have it under my belt and once I know how to make those changes going into it. So I am doing the Tunisian style, so I'm going to go down. Let's see what row I am on, and I'm just doing crochet stitches and ignoring the knitting instructions that are on here. So that's my way of just adapting it. I don't know if that's how people normally adapt knitting patterns to crochet, or if people even do that a whole lot. So I'm gonna go down and back on this just to show kind of how the color changes are working with the Tunisian style. It's very thick, bulky yarn, so it's kind of difficult to maneuver, and I have been getting worse hand cramps than normal with this particular project because of the particular yarn. So with this bulky yarn, I am going to just very lightly curl it. When I was doing it just straight crochet style, it was working up pretty fast, but then once I switched to the Tunisian style, that slowed me down quite a lot because, again, with the Tunisian style, you're having to go over every row twice. Once to go down and actually get the loops on your hook, and then a second time to go back through and actually make the stitch. I've been trying to keep this relatively organized, but that is an oxymoron when you're talking about this kind of color work. So yeah, I'm doing my best, but it's something I've never done before. I'm hoping that next time I do this with a less bulky yarn, there'll be less like wrestling with the piece. Because this is just the back panel, and this has taken me like a month or so to get this far. And I did frog it a couple times, you know, when I was doing the just plain crochet version, and I frogged it a couple times when I first started the Tunisian version. And then I got to a certain point where I was like, I'm not unraveling this another time, so it is what it is. And I had to remind myself this is the practice version, so if it's not perfect, that's fine. But I really want to like get to it, get it done, so that I can have it done and have like a point of reference for it. And then I will probably take a very long break before I attempt to do the next one. But you know what? As long as it's something I can wear and have, it's great. Mission accomplished. I am doing everything in my power to avoid having to weave in any more ends than I have to. And that's the end of that row. So now we've got the jaw taking shape over here. We've got a foot. And technically, to be movie accurate, I should have done a little differentiation here that matches more like this, but I was not going to go back and redo that. I was not. There's not even a full skein of red because of how little is used. So, all right, I'm gonna see, wait, where'd the end go? Oh no. Oh no. Uh-oh. there's the end. Found you. Gotcha. Now I'm gonna have to spend some time untangling. Okay, I think we can do better than a rubber band. This is just adding to my beef with Mary Maxim. Could we not have arranged this a little nicer? Because you pull the rubber band off, and then poof, there goes the whole thing. So like, this kit, I will probably never buy anything from Mary Maxim again. Come on. Is there an end? Do I just have to cut it and hope for the best? It's just a circle? I know there's an end because I saw an end, but now there's not an end. And oh boy. It's just a circle. Alright, well, I think I'm gonna leave it there while I'm drowning in yarn. I was gonna finish this row, but this has caused a host of new problems. So I'm gonna go yarn line this, and then I don't know how often I'll update this one. The back panel is gonna take a while. I'm on like row 34 out of 112, and that's just the back panel. I still have to do the front 2 panels, which include pockets, and then also sleeves, and then put the ribbing on it, and then maybe do a zipper if I'm feeling fancy or ambitious. So we'll see. Don't hold your loose yarn together with rubber bands. That's the moral of the story. That's the takeaway for today.